So the book of Acts gives us the model for reaching the ends of the earth. So I'm in Burma right now. The island of Bali is absolutely spectacular. We are in Cambodia here. This is a beautiful family that lives in a village that we've done distributions with. In the Great Commission, let's remember Jesus said, go and make disciples of all nations. And for us at World Mission, it's really important that the Word of God be a part of that. I mean, how can you really become a disciple if you don't have access to the Word of God? We are in Kor, the middle of Rendili land, and all these brothers are Rendili pastors. So are you guys happy about these units?
Yes.
All right. Cambodia is an amazing country. It's surrounded by Laos, Vietnam, and Thailand. And the 16 million people that live here, they say about 85% are Buddhists, and many of them have never heard the gospel for the first time.
Well, hello and welcome. It is the Great Commission Update. I am Rusty Humphries. That guy over there is Greg Kelley, and we sure appreciate you. So a few minutes ago, before the show started, I don't want to say I'm in freak out mode because I don't do that often. We're getting right down to the final moments of getting ready to go on this trip, and I've got too much stuff already. And then your assistant is this wonderful woman named Liberty. And Liberty says, "Hey, Rusty, do you mind if we send some treasures and you can bring them along?" I was like, "Well, sure." I'm thinking 10.
Cooperative. You don't want to be
right. I'm thinking 10, 15 of them. I'll put them in my bag and I'll try to jam them in or something. And this giant Brinks truckload, the dump truck backs the thing up, and my whole home now is covered in treasures. I don't know how I'm going to get in there. I mean, but that's why we're going. But it's little things like this, Greg, that's just kind of got me going. Blah, 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 blah.
It's going to be good. Just imagine if you were the guy in Nepal who had that same dump truck backing up with you'd be ecstatic.
That's good for him.
That's good for him.
He just doesn't have to carry it to the airport.
Now, the double bonus for you is you get to be the one who's delivering it to them, and you get to see these shining faces who are, pleading their appreciation to you. So that's going to be fun. I promise you in a few weeks' time, you're going to go, wow, it was all worth it. But
I have no doubt, and I'm not saying that this is not going to be worth it, but I have been, hiking, hard hikes every day, traveling 2 or 3 hours in the car to get some height, because I live in Phoenix and there's not a lot of, there's some mountain stuff, but it's not enough height. So I'm worried about air.
Right. Yes.
I'm not an outdoorsman, so buying boots, shoes, poles, hats, clothes, and like nothing is anything that I can't bring this T-shirt because it's not the right kind.
Buddy, you look great. I can tell you're working hard, and it's going to pay off. You'll be grateful you did that because, like I've said before, it's the elevation that gets people a lot. So that's good. You're getting above sea level, working yourself a little bit, getting a little sweat. That's all good. Okay. It's going to pay dividends.
Everybody goes, so are you bringing like oxygen with you? So we're not doing that, right?
No oxygen needed. No. We're
Do
not
we need to get air pill? There's like some kind of oxygen pills or something I've heard. I don't have those.
I think we'll be all right. Yeah, we'll be okay. The higher elevations are only going to be, we're only going to be there in the neighborhood of 24 hours. You kind of peak it and then you kind of come down the other side.
Okay.
So we get to Poon Hill. We'll be there. We'll celebrate this amazing scenery and bring our Great Commission Update family with us. We're going to be there doing an interview right on the top of Poon Hill, looking at the Annapurna Range in the Himalayan mountains.
Okay, let me rehearse that. So, Greg, we are at here's the other thing. So, as we're recording this, everybody's freaking out about the coronavirus. Now, I'm not a guy that like panics normally on stuff like that. But going on an airplane with hundreds of people, you can get sick anyway. So I go down to my Home Depot and I go, hey, where are the air masks for paint? Oh, Yeah, we ain't got none. What do you mean we ain't got none? Well, this guy came in the other day, bought $800 worth. $800 worth? How much are they? They're like $30. About $800 worth. Wow. He said, yeah, good luck finding them anywhere. Well, come on. I called the Walmart. Yeah, some guy came in, bought all of them. I called the Ace Hardware. Yeah, some guy came in here, bought all of them. So some guy came into my town.
Do you know it's the same guy?
It most likely is. I should go to, face mask guy, eBay, and find it. And they're probably going to be like $200 each.
Well, might be a good deal, man.
Are you worried about that at all?
I'm not worried. They said, here's what I heard about the whole mask thing. They said the people that we want wearing the masks are those who are infected with the coronavirus, not those that aren't infected. That's what I heard. They said, yeah, you don't have to worry about it too much. Just keep your hands. So here's what you want. You want the hand sanitizer, which we'll have a lot of. That's the key. You want to keep your hands because
jug of that.
They put it in, that's how they get it. So we'll be good though. I mean, it's not like Bangladesh borders where we'll be part of the time in China, but Nepal does border it, but it's separated by the mountains. So we got a nice buffer there.
Oh, you're telling me a virus can't fly over a mountain? I mean, these things are they're like drones looking to kill you. No.
We're good, man. We are totally good. We see no Chinese people on this hike, I promise you.
So no good sweet and sour chicken.
Not up in the mountains.
Okay, I was hoping they had a good Panda Express up there for that close to China.
We're going to miss out.
Probably not. So none of this, and I've traveled the world before. I've been to some pretty rough places, and you're just no big deal. Everything's great.
All right. Hey, so 22 years I just finished as CEO here at World Mission, and I probably have done, 3 or 4 trips a year. So, you're 65 plus trips. You never have this attitude, been there, done that, right? Okay. But you kind of, the places that we work, right, at World Mission, in the 1040 window, there's some dicey spots. I mean, to put it in context, and you've heard me tell you this before, Rusty, my very first mission trip with World Mission was in 1996.
Back in 1996.
Oh, right. Come on. Look at the grades. It's I don't have enough grades to have that testimony. But 1996, right? So I'm in Bosnia. I'm driving from Zagreb, Croatia, going to Sarajevo. And we're rebuilding this orphanage that had been bombed during the first war, the Bosnian War. So the context of it is we're going there, and as you kind of stop, and guys do, and you're kind of in the more rural areas, and we're taking a little bathroom break or something, and the translators are screaming at us, "Don't step off the road!" A French peacekeeper did a couple weeks ago and stepped on a landmine. So that was my first trip with World Mission. So since then, they've all gotten easier, Rusty.
I mean, we're not going into the only place where I would think it would be a little dangerous in that way would be with the Rohingyas, right? I mean, because you're going to a refugee camp, and it might be a little dicey there, or no?
Yeah, there's going to be places that we're not going to be able to go into because, getting access to them is just, you can't do it. They don't want any Westerners going into areas. So we'll have to pick and choose areas that we go to, but we'll be with the whole Bangladesh staff, basically, and they'll be kind of picking and choosing the areas that we do go to. But anytime you're in an area like the Rohingya, and then also we're going to the Shaikh, which is the largest unreached people group in the world. We've shared with our listeners about them, 133 million people that are 0.0% Christian. We'll be with them too. So anytime you're in an area that has that much Islamic dominance, you just have to be careful. You don't want to do high profile things. We won't give you a megaphone to preach the gospel on the street corner. We won't be doing any of that kind of stuff. So you just it's just low profile, being wise, but it's just such a great reminder of why these places exist in the world, that there's no Christian influence. You realize the magnitude of the barriers as you're in there. And it's a great privilege to be a part of that kind of stuff.
And for me to go, and I hope by you watching, an idiot like me who has no idea what he's doing, give you kind of an idea of how difficult it is, what Greg does, how hard it is. I mean, it's taken, I found out about this, I want to say late December. And so, I've been working out and trying to eat right, and I don't know, thousands of dollars in equipment because I'm starting at zero. Man, it's hard.
Yeah.
And you know, part of it is I don't want to be the fat guy at the end of the trail and everybody's going, oh gosh.
We'll pick him up on the
We're waiting for that guy again. I don't want to be that guy. Because there's always one guy here. I've led a bunch of groups, Greg. I don't know if you know this, but if it's ever works for you. But there's always one or two people that slow everybody down. And if there's not, it's probably you.
Here's what you got going for you, okay?
Yeah.
I told you I can't tell you everything, right? So to ease your anxiety, there's these trains that come along these paths that are donkey trains. Literally donkey trains. That's how they get the supplies. You say, how do you get supplies up to these super remote villages? By donkeys. Okay. And they got the thing hanging over their back. And on one side, they got a little pouch, and the other side, a pouch. And there's water jugs in one and food on the other. I've seen building materials. I've seen everything imaginable go on these donkeys. We always can jump on a donkey and hitch a ride if you need to. Okay. But you don't want to be that guy either. Like, I'm the only guy in the group that was riding on a donkey. So, I don't know if there's a huge benefit there, but we do have that as an out.
Now, the other thing you told me right before the show was, well, we have some other guys and we're thinking about, taking a truck and going in a little bit further. Now, part of me is going, that sounds awesome. And then it's like, I've been doing all this work. Now I want to do it.
The highest elevation parts, all right? The highest elevation parts, we got to hike it.
Okay.
There's no other options except the donkey, but we're not doing that.
Okay.
But even there's parts of this trail that even the donkeys can't. I mean, you're like, kind of climbing up a little tight stair.
Is that the one where the stairs, you go for like 2 or 3 hours of just climbing stairs?
That's pretty much it. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's the area. Yeah. So you're not going to get gypped at all. This hard training, endurance training you've been doing is not for naught. I promise you.
Okay.
I promise you.
I'm kind of Greg's obviously in good shape, but I'm kind of hoping to keep up with this guy. How old are you?
No problem. I've been around the sun 50 times. I just finished.
50, okay, so you're fit. So I've got 4 years on you and about 40 pounds. So I'm going to keep up with you, though.
You're going to come back, buddy, a lean, mean Nepali fighting machine.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready. Yeah.
We're in for a real surprise.
So one of the things that we're going to do is try, and I got to say the word try. Part of my job is I'm the technical guy, and I am the cameraman and the internet guy, and my job is to kind of document. Everybody's going, so what are you doing? I have to tell everybody, I don't know. It's not my trip. I'm just a talking chimp. I do my dance. I go home. I'm just the guy documenting what's going on.
Right.
So my goal is to be able to do some stuff up there that I can post on YouTube, and then our friends at the range are going to also take it and edit it and put it on the range maybe together. It's a good goal, and most places have like an internet cafe, but video is really big. And so it may be difficult. So if we miss a show or two, you're going to know that, they couldn't get an internet cafe that had enough bandwidth to get the show out. So it's not that we're slacking.
Right.
But I don't know. What's your guess on that, Greg?
I think when we're at Kathmandu, so the beginning of it and the end of it will be in Kathmandu. So we definitely can upload some stuff and get it to the range and get it to Great Commission update. Yep, absolutely. So we will have opportunities. Not up in the mountains. You'll be surprised, though. The network that's up there is kind of crazy. I mean, where I can like text my wife or do a WhatsApp. I mean, you're like, really? Like we're on top of a mountain here and you can still do that. So network is almost everywhere. But getting video downloaded, we'll have to wait till we get down to Kathmandu, one of the great cities in the world. So that'll be fun to even do that. Say, hey, from Kathmandu, we're shooting this at you.
So are we going to do any, here's my problem. I'm sitting here with, Saint Greg here, Mr. Nicey Nice, good boy, doing everything for Jesus, and I'm with him. However, it's like, like, for example, I talked about this the other day, and there's still a part of me.
So when we're there, we'll have that all figured out.
It's not like I'm out, trying to pick up chicks and looking for the next, the beer place. I don't drink or do drugs or anything like that. But it's like, do we get to do anything fun, or is it all just blinders on, bringing treasures up to people, and that's it?
Oh man, it's going to be so much fun. We have, Christians, you know how it is. We have lots of fun. We do all kinds of fun things, man. And on this trip, we're going to, with the hiking, we're going to be with some amazing people. So the Indian guys, I mean, it's going to be a lot about telling stories and encouraging each other, stopping in villages, eating some exotic food, some great food, seeing. I'll tell you this, the first time I went there, Rusty, I remember I was at Poon Hill, in the same area that we'll be at. And I remember the first time that I saw that first panoramic view of the Annapurna Range, and I just started crying. I mean, it's it's such an overwhelming just sense of God's creation, and what God, you almost can feel like them beating, at you. I mean, it's just a crazy, overwhelming experience. So, awesome. And we're there in the time of the year that it's all super clear. Sometimes people go in what would be our summer months, June, July, and August, and they tell me they're going, and I'm like, why are you doing that? They're like, well, I have vacation then. I'm like, do you realize that's the monsoon season over there? Ooh. And more than likely, all of those beautiful mountain ranges are going to be totally boxed in by clouds, and you're not going to see anything. Really? And it's going to rain on you the whole time. So have fun with that one.
Well, I've been doing some, looking at the weather, because I'm at a point, do I spend the $300 extra to get a coat that's small enough to fit, or do I not? And so far what I'm finding is temperatures 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
It does. I mean, around Kathmandu for sure, and Pokhara, which is another main town we'll be in Nepal. But once we get higher elevations, it'll get a bit chilly and that kind of thing, But you're working out, that makes you warmer, so that's good. You're climbing. And by the way, the walking poles, man, I never thought of those. Those are sweet. Love them. Sure, absolutely. Yeah, people they keep the balance. I mean, after there's a certain, all of us can do 100 steps here and there, but I mean, when you're getting into thousands of steps, I mean, it doesn't take a lot, and you can hit a rock wrong or kind of lose your balance. So that's a
get ready. I do have a weak ankle, and I'm concerned about that. So I have got ace bandages. I got these boots. I got it all. I'm
the donkey train.
I don't want to take the donkey train. Let me take that back. I want to take the donkey train once for a little bit, just to say, and then I rode a donkey.
Taking a photo of Rusty on the donkey for our audience so you can see what I'm talking about, all right? So I promise you, we're going to get that photo, and you'll see it the next time.
I almost got attacked by a donkey yesterday.
Whoa!
So I'm in Arizona, and there's a lake by my house, 10 minutes from my house, called Lake Pleasant. And there's some great hikes there. And it's one of those things where it's so close that you don't think about going there.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if you have that where you are, but it's like
Lake Superior.
Okay.
That's my example. Way too far away.
How far is it?
Well, I've got to go through the UP, so it's like 5 hours.
Oh, no, I'm talking like 10 minutes. It's so close.
It's the largest freshwater lake in the world. So, I mean, this is like a bucket list for people, but yeah, I get it.
You never go, right?
Well, once every other year.
Okay.
It's a poke.
Okay. So, but this Lake Pleasant it's like the only lake in the area anyway. So I went there yesterday, and I get out and I hear this sound. It's like, is somebody getting murdered or something? I don't know what it is. I go over there, and there's this donkey, and I'm guessing it's a female because it's got little ones, and it's like going to charge, to stay away from the babies. So that was pretty cool.
Yes. Wow.
And I went and pet him, and I hugged him, and no, I didn't do that. You don't do that.
Well, here, I got to give you one last piece of advice. So the donkey train, right? I've already said that. I'll tell this to you again, because this is information we don't want you to forget.
Okay.
When the donkey train's coming through on these
hug the mountain.
You remembered. That's the best piece of information that you cannot forget.
Okay.
So when we hear the bells of announcing the donkey train is coming, we will all get up against the mountain and let them just pass through on their own, because you don't want to be on the other side, on the edge side, when the donkey train's coming through, because they don't necessarily have good sense of what could happen if they give you a little hip
or
bounce.
They just don't care.
They just don't care.
They just
they
don't care.
might get a kick out of that. Yeah.
I hear the donkey train coming. It's coming round the bend. Okay. Let's see. Anything else I'm trying to think of? Because I'm trying to have everybody, be on this trip and understand all. I mean, look at this list. Look at this list. This is all stuff I had to get.
Is that all we sent you? That's all we sent you?
26, 38, 42 items.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
And then some of them have 3 or 4 things on it.
Is there a face mask on there?
I got one.
Oxygen tank?
No. You don't have an oxygen tank.
Got you covered. We got you covered. Water filter, I got you covered.
Okay, that one, that's good. I didn't get that.
You wouldn't believe whatever you don't have, we got you covered, man. We got you covered.
Why didn't you tell me that before I spent $1,000, $2,000?
You can't jip you on this experience. You have to, kind of take the whole thing in beginning to end so you can really appreciate it.
And here's one that's underwear, 2 sets maximum. Now, for 20-something days...
You don't want to go with us anywhere, Rusty. Don't share the whole list.
I mean, it's like, is this going to be the stinky train? I mean, 2 sets maximum.
Well, we're there for 2 weeks. So
a pair a week?
Yeah.
While you're hiking 10 miles a day?
You don't want to overkill.
Man, I mean.
I didn't know that was on there.
Okay.
There might I'm missing that might have needed to be an 8 maybe, and I don't know.
Okay, so now I don't know. I went and found, I didn't know they had these. They got hiking underwear. By the way, $20 a pair. I got 2 of them, and supposedly they're light and then they dry quickly so you can wash them fast.
Those will come in handy. Everybody needs a pair of those. I mean, this is a blessing in disguise. You're just not seeing it at the moment, but just everything's going to be good.
You know what the blessing is? First of all, of course, just being there is a blessing. And I'm sharing with everybody exactly without any, there's no filter right now. I've taken the filter off. You're getting exactly how I'm feeling 3 days before we hit the trail. Okay. That's number 1. Number 2, so that's the blessing. Number 2, you know what? It's forcing me to get into shape. It's forcing me to do this. It's forcing me to get out of the house. So that's right. Good. So thank you for that too. Speaking of thank yous, and then I'll let you talk. I've been talking the whole time, Greg. I'm sorry.
This is beautiful.
Okay. So I want to thank, I know we've got some more people that have sent some money in, but I want to thank Pat Hickey of Peoria Ford and Surprise Ford, who donated a bunch of treasures.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Pat. Also, Dr. Lee Griffith and Olivia Hart Griffith. They've sent a check and donated a bunch of treasures. I'm sure we've got some other people, but we're going to go up there and say, hey, these are the treasures that Pat and Lee and Olivia donated. And I think they're all at my house right now.
Awesome.
All the treasures.
Hey, some of them, you've already gotten them, right?
That's what I'm saying. I got them all at the house. I was going to bring the box in, but I could barely pick it up.
Wow.
Now probably your little sweet little helper, Liberty, did it with one arm. But for me...
I saw her when she shipped them. She had one on each shoulder when she was walking down the hallway. I'm like, what are those? Rusty. Like, yeah, she's buddy, man. She's got it. Okay. But that's I mean, the fun thing about this, Rusty, is that thank you so much. We appreciate you. You're not physically going with us, but Rusty and I get the privilege, the fun side of it, of putting it into the hands. And so each one of these treasures that Rusty's talking about, they go carefully and thoughtfully, and we identify. It's not random. There's nothing random about where these things go. It's really intentional. It's the people that they can't read. They're oral learners. That most of these people are going to be Hindu or they're going to be Muslim. Those are the areas that we'll be spending our time. And so just think about that. I mean, someone's never had the opportunity to hear the gospel, to hear who Jesus is, and because of this treasure going into their hand, not only them but their family, and then their friends, their neighbors. It's going to impact so many people. So it's just awesome.
And the reason that they did it, while it's I don't want to say pain in my hiney. I mean, it doesn't make it easy, but it's because it's saving a lot of money. I mean, you get a certain amount of bags that you can do, and if you go, so if Greg carried all of them, that box would go from being free to about $400, as opposed to sending it to me for $20, and then I bring it with me.
Yeah.
Right? That's the reason.
Well, yeah, for us, we try and the 50,000 treasures last year that we were able to distribute, a lot of them end up just getting shipped directly from World Mission here, because we don't have people going to Pakistan or Senegal or Indonesia or Iraq or wherever they're going to. So we have to send them in there, and that goes through the full arsenal of the customs and duties and all that. And a lot of times we're paying, they get you pretty good. You're paying $5-6 a unit in fees. But for us, it's worth it. I mean, for an extra $5, you get that unit into the hands of the people you need it to. But anytime, that adds up too. Because I mean, just you have
right now, do I got to bring a whole bunch of cash now?
No. We'll be good, because when we bring them in with our luggage, that's normally we can bypass the immigrations and customs. Sometimes we'll pay a little bit, but it's largely being bypassed because you're taking it through the airport. So that definitely is a preferred way. But just the volume of units we send, it's a small percentage of units we can take in that way.
And the other thing that we're concerned about, and don't tell anybody, I'm still trying to figure this out, and this is just between us, but I want to bring a drone, and I don't want to bring the drone for any nefarious reason other than just to take some pretty pictures of some pretty awesome places. But there is some concern that some of these governments may not like the idea of me bringing a drone. Is that right?
Well, in the area in Bangladesh, that is going to be the mainly Muslim area. So the concentration, I think I shared this with our listeners last week, but you've got Bangladesh is the size of Iowa or Michigan, and so where you have 10 million people. Bangladesh, the same size, has 160 million people.
Half the population of the United States.
Yeah. So not only are you just super concentrated, but on top of that, everywhere is mosques and Muslims, and you start flying drones over the top of mosques, and we're not going to see Rusty again. So we don't want to do that.
That would be cool, though.
And I'm 100% on the people I've taken, I've brought home. So we can't break that record there. That's 22 years of hard work, Rusty.
That's pretty good. And now, see, I have gotten myself into some situations.
Yeah.
I'm good at it. It's a gift. Now, I'm also good at getting myself out of them.
Okay, well.
But I'm good at getting into them. So probably should have told you before you bought the ticket, but I am telling you before we're getting on the plane.
That's okay. I'm not going to gyp you of any awesome experience and a fun, here's how I got out of jail story to our listener. I won't do that to you. So I might just let it play itself out.
Okay.
And, when we need to call the U.S. Embassy.
That's happened.
Then we'll do that. Right.
I've
but
had
in
that.
the meantime,
I'm the idiot that goes, you know what? I'm bored. I've been to Israel a few times. I'm kind of bored.
Yeah.
I want to meet a terrorist. And went and met with terrorists, which was a whole other story, but hopefully we won't have to do that this time.
We're going to bypass that one.
Yeah.
Not on the list.
This is absolutely not what we were going to talk about on this program at all today, but we're running out of time. And I don't know about you, Greg, but I think this is fascinating.
Absolutely.
All the stuff you have to go through to do this. And again, for Greg, I'm sure you've got all this equipment, all this stuff in the garage. You go, let's go. You know what you're doing. And for me, it's been 3 months of shopping and going, oh, I bought the socks. Oh, there's better socks. Okay, I'll buy those ones too. Oh, underwear is $20 a pair. Oh, okay. Here's one for today. Oh, I need a hood to go on my camera so I can have the camera go on my backpack. Oh, that was $40. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
this is Rusty's Christmas list, everyone, for 2020. Keep that.
This is 2020, 2021, 2022. I've taken care of birthdays.
Got it all.
But you're going to have some pretty pictures, so it's going to be great.
Yeah, we'll bring it.
If you would please, again, you're hearing. I am not calling Greg saying, Greg, I need you to buy this. Please buy me a camera. Buy me this. Buy me that. That's not what those donations are for. Those donations are for getting those treasures and getting them there. The treasures cost about $40, right, Greg?
Yep, that's right. But when we deliver these things too, Rusty, it's not just a 1-to-1 ratio. So the people that are gathering around and listening, they do it in groups. And that's one of the beautiful things about these cultures. Even though they're without a gospel witness, they're very they highly value community. So when you put a treasure in their presence, it's the group just naturally emerges. And so you'll have, I've seen more than 20 people. I've seen it Jimmy rigged where you have 100 people listening at a time. They are just so creative with these, but it's always in a group setting. So one treasure, that $40 is impacting generally over 100 people by the time that thing's life cycle, after 4 or 5 years. So, I mean, it's just incredible how many people are gathering around listening.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to meet these folks. I can't wait to bring these and personally hand deliver them. I can't wait to bring you along. I've got a lot of equipment, so we're going to have great video and pictures, and we're going to have all this stuff for you to check out. So if you would please go to WorldMission.cc, WorldMission.cc, and find out how you can donate. Greg, wrap it up for us, would you?
A Great Commission update. Let's just, Jesus' last words, go make disciples of all nations. So when Rusty and I, we're going to 2 countries, Bangladesh and Nepal, but we're going to see literally dozens of nations, so many of them without their first gospel witness. So just be praying for us, but also share, encourage your friends, family, to join us on the Great Commission update, our podcast. Watch it, listen to it, share it with their friends. We want to bring these stories of what Rusty and I are experiencing, what we're doing at World Mission, because we just can't do it alone. We need you, and you're there with us.
And I would really encourage you to go to, if you're watching this on Facebook or The Range, subscribe, also the podcast, because I don't know when the next show's coming up. If you subscribe, YouTube will tell you. And so if you subscribe, you'll see some of these videos. Some of them may be a minute long. Some may be 2, 5, 20. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting. I'm not going to put up, stupid, boring stuff. It should be a lot of fun. So please subscribe so you don't miss it. We always try to put shows out on Tuesdays, but there's no plan. The one thing I know in doing these, and Greg, I know you're going to agree with this, is take the schedule and throw it out the window, because you just have no idea what is going to happen.
Yep.
Right?
That's right. Be flexible. Number one lesson in missions. Number one.
Be flexible. So
we're going to capture a ton of photos and videos that everybody's going to experience.
Okay. And I'm ready. And here's the other fun part, folks. I go from Phoenix to Philadelphia, then from Philadelphia to Doha, and that's where we meet up, right?
Yes.
Now, everybody, how do you meet a guy in an airport where you don't know where nothing is and you don't speak the language? Greg, where are you? I mean, and you can't use it. I can't use a cell phone. Have you thought about that, or is that just you don't even think about that?
All in English.
What?
So it's all in English. Gate number 15. I'll be there with bells and whistle waiting for you, buddy. I will be there. I promise you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You heard it, everybody. He promised. I believe him. I believe him. Okay. It's going to be a great trip. Thank you so much. Greg, thank you for allowing me to go with you. Everybody, thank you for supporting Greg and the great people at World Mission. Please donate. Go to WorldMission.cc. And again, subscribe to the show, because you don't want to miss this stuff from Bangladesh and Kathmandu. This is stuff that cities, it's like, do they really exist? They do, and we're going there. So, Greg, thank you so much, brother. We'll see you there, and we'll see you next week. Subscribe to the show. Thank you very much. I'm Rusty Humphries. He's Greg Kelley, and this is the Great Commission Update. Bye-bye.